Jon Lester was a fine pitcher in 2011, but he wasn't quite the Jon Lester that we're used to seeing. The 2009 and 2010 versions were a little more dominating than the one that we saw in 2011, and that was cause for concern, especially down the stretch when the Red Sox could have used just one more win to make the playoffs. Lester struggled with his command. That was the big problem. It started to rack up his pitch counts as the season went on. And the higher those pitch counts went, the more the Red Sox needed to lean on a bullpen that was already having trouble because of how ineffective many of the other replacement starters at the back end of the rotation were. Lester typically has a deep repertoire, and he's able to locate most of his pitches, and all of those pitches are effective offerings. You can see some change over time in which pitches Jon Lester might have a preference for. These are the percentage of strikes thrown with some of his secondary offerings, his changeup and his curveball. He used to throw the changeup around the league average strike rate, but in 2010 he took a significant jump forward. In 2011 that was furthered even more. Part of the reason for that might have been the fact that his curveball, which already was not very reliable in terms of going for a strike, started to decline even more in that regard. Lester admits that he has trouble with the curveball, and it's part of the reason why he waits on his curve until he has longer outings in spring training to work on it. He's been working on his changeup more in these early goings, and the command hasn't quite been exactly where you want it, but that's expected from someone out of spring training. Lester's command problems from last year also show up in the run value for his pitches. Now, run values aren't predictive, but they do give you a sense of just how valuable a pitch was. His curveball was the least valuable it had been in his career, costing him 5 runs in the season, and his changeup was just adequate. So he didn't have a quality and effective pitch to replace the curveball and its effectiveness, and that really damaged Lester down the stretch. We expect good things from Jon Lester in 2012, just because this was kind of a minor thing, mostly tied up in the second half, and he is aware of it and working to correct it.